I must warn you, this game was given to me for promotional reasons and could therefore affect my opinions of the game. Going forward, please remember that, as I will probably not remember to say that at any other point during this video. Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm Phillip, the Meeple on duty, and today we are taking a good look at Papillon Gardens by Colossal Games. Now, I got this one from Gen Con 2024 from AJ at the Surfing Meeple booth. It was a conglomerate of I think 4 or 5 different companies working together in that booth. And he kind of went through and was like, here, we need people talking about these. And this was one of them. This is a newer game from them. And it is a roll and write, stamp and write, flip and write. I don't know what you want to call it. You are setting things up, and then you are recording them down on your board. Everybody's playing at once, so if everybody had a score pad, everybody could play. This one's a little interesting because you have to use 2 different score pad or papers in front of you, but we'll get into that here in a bit. I really enjoyed this game. Let's go ahead and take a look at this game's components. I'm going to interrupt right now because I never remember to record this in the middle, so I have to record at the end and then splice it in as I go along. But down in the description below, there is a link to our Patreon, which has a Discord tied to it as well. Please come join our community. $1 a month gets you in, $5 secures you a seat at our game nights, and $10 a month gets you a monthly shout out. Thank you guys for being a part of our growing community, and back to your regular scheduled programming. For the game components, first we have the rule book, which comes in both English and French. Then we have the scoring pad, which is 2-sided. One is French, one is English, that has very good instructions on how you score. Next up, we have the game pads. This is a 2-sided sheet of paper, so you're going to need 2 sheets of paper to play the game, or you can flip back and forth the entire game and drive yourself up a wall. Next, you have these tiny golf pencils that hurt my hands just looking at. Then we have the cards. The cards are of a very nice quality, and I appreciate the clear art design that they have created that resemble a butterfly wing. Next, we have the dice that come in and have very clear markings on both sides. Then we have our features that we're going to be able to add throughout the course of the game if you so desire and have an open field you want to put them in. These affect scoring or give you bonuses through the course of the game. Lastly, we have the stamps. We have the rubber stamps that can show off all the critters and the flowers, and the 6 ink colors, and we have the 4 flower stamps that are pre-inked for you. The components and the theming of this game work together very well and are superbly high quality done. I love the artwork, the little bits of artwork that you get in this. I'm going to call it a stamp, flip and stamp, because you may do a little bit of writing, but most of it is flipping things and stamping them. All the feature tiles are extremely well done. They all the feature tiles are extremely well done. They have English on one side, and I do believe it's French on the other. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's French because the other rule book is in French, which was actually a nice surprise. There's in my copy, there is a English rule book, which I have right here, and then in the bottom of the box stored, because it's not going to be useful for me, is the French rule book. So I have English on one side, French on the other for all of it. I have Very nice cards. The backs of these are quite nice. And then they are very easy to read for everything going on here. And they might be a little light, but nothing absolutely crazy. You're not going to ruin them in one shot. And there's no real bleed through, which that'd be hard to do. Anyways, the dice, these are very nice. They're very clear in what they're doing. My one complaint right here with the dice is they are extremely tiny little dice. The board is double-sided, and you need 2 sheets to play one game. So you have one facing this side and one facing this side. It's all very well laid out, very easy to play once you know what you're doing. Let's go ahead and set a game up and walk through our steps as we play, or what we would be doing when we played. Now, the way this game works is you have your 2 sides of your board here. You have your field, and you have your bonuses and all of that. I don't know what to call this side. You have your field where you're writing out your garden, and you have your added bonuses. Each of these bonuses has a certain number of squares or circles in them that you fill out when you get one of these little pencils. Symbology is not terribly complex in this game, but it is a little hard at first. Once you get going, it becomes much easier. Anytime you would get to the stamp, you would add a stamp of, like, this is the yellow flowers, red flowers, critters. Anytime you add that, you're going to add it to your board. So you have your little caterpillar that you're going to move anytime you have a caterpillar. These little corners are weeds, and you're going to basically X out a square that has something in it or possibly nothing in it, but you have to X out a square. The pencil means you can fill in one of the dots. The butterfly means you can move from starting where you have a butterfly, you can fill in 3 other butterflies. The thing that got me with the butterflies is they are their own separate game that scores points. You get 1 point for each butterfly that you have completed in the thing at the end of the game. Fields are where features go, and you will have cards that, let's go ahead and see if I can't find one. Now we're going to need one of you. Let's just flip. So here we have a little bit of everything for you guys now. We have the pencil, which fills in a dot over here on this pad. We have the wall where you're going to add 2 walls. You can either just draw a line, or you can use this wonderful stamp if you have it to fill in a space. Walled in garden beds, completely walled in, of all the same color, gets you double the points. So you get to fill into a feature. You get to add a feature to any field that you have. Now, if you have this card, you can actually add, I do believe it's 2 more fields. Once you fill up your 2 fields, or you need to, you can add an extra field with this one and move your butterfly. You will get to do everything on this board, including whatever dice is on here. So you would add a dot down here. You're going to move the caterpillar twice on this little leaf track down here. You're going to move the butterfly 3 spaces along out here, starting in a straight line, starting from one that you've already filled in. And you're going to add an extra grassy field indicated by just putting little tufts of grass in the corner, so you know features have to go there. Each feature does something unique, so once you add it in, most of them are for point scoring, like the gazebo. Gain 1 VP for each flower plot with a butterfly, max of 8. Gain 4 VP for each flower patch with at least 5 flowers. That's really hard to do. And fountain, stamp 3 different flowers and add 1 bramble, which the bramble is the weeds. which basically X's out either it can overwrite a feature, flower, anything, but it basically removes your thing. And then you have ones like this, the arbor. Oops, let's flip it over. The tree. We're going to put a tree out, and you're going to gain 1 caterpillar for each adjacent field and flower patch. That's pretty darn good. The shed, you add 3 walls, and you gain a field. That is basically how you play. And then every round, everybody's going to simultaneously pick. Oh, I'm sorry. And then when the flowers, you would just stamp the corresponding color of flower. Each round, everybody is simultaneously going to pick one of these. Everybody can pick this one. It doesn't really matter. But you're going to do everything on there to your boards, however you want. The game is 10 rounds long. At the end of the round, you're going to get rid of these 3. You're going to draw 3 new pot and roll the dice again. At the end of 10 rounds, you're going to score up. And that is the end of it. So that's a really brief overview of the game. Now, my initial frustrations came in reading the rule book. It is a bit scattered and everywhere for me. I did not understand how, when you get butterflies, or when you get, I understood that you're going to be stamping things, and you're going to be marking these butterflies in, and you're going to be adding these features. But I didn't understand if you had to have a butterfly in the space before you could do it, which you don't. I didn't understand how necessarily the features worked well until we kind of got into it. And then those have to go on fields. So there's a balance you have to make of open field and garden bed, which I didn't do very well. And and that border as well. The scoring in this is actually very satisfying. This is me and Heather's first game. She crushed me 80-75. And at any point did I know who was in the lead, just because it was our first game. Once we got into the swing of it and I kind of understood what the full ramifications of our actions were and how the game was played, it became quite enjoyable. The stamps, especially these ones, are very nice and very easy to plop down and use. Of all the other stamps, the only one we really used was the wall feature, which I forgot to clean. Should probably do that. But yeah, we used this the wall feature to ride around our gardens, beds. And then most of the other stamps are there for fun, but I didn't really use them at all. And then you have all your little eating compartments to go with it. That made it just a little extra. And I like games like that. I like games that went the little extra distance to give you a better feel and a better immersion into their game. Is this one we'll play again? Yeah, because once we figured it out, there is enough going on that it feels like a full game in a roll and write. A lot of roll and writes, to me, have the problem, or I'm going to just roll and write the whole category, is it's a game, but it's a background game. You're playing it while having a conversation or doing other things that have a primary focus while you're playing a game that is essentially really easy. This one presented you with a bunch of different tracks to follow, a bunch of different ways to get different scoring mechanics going that push you either towards the front or towards the back, and how do you string together a bunch of extra actions on one turn. And if you can do that, you can get a lot of extra stuff in your garden that other people don't. And I really appreciated that there was a little more meat on this game than just skeleton and we have stamps. That was actually the great part for me. Not just were you stamping and had these high quality components, the game behind it was really solid. And again, my biggest complaint was the rule book did not teach and explain very well. Now, some of you are going to be like, it did really great. And I'm like, for me personally, the rule book was a bit hard. Otherwise, this is a very high quality, in components and gameplay game. If you don't have this one and you're looking for a game that will scratch that itch, or you're looking for a game to draw in a significant other or buddy or what have you that has no interest in games but likes gardens or butterflies or anything like that, this would be one that you could use to pull them in with the theme and have a good game while you're playing. Thank you again very much, AJ from Colossal. This is an enjoyable game. My wife is going to want to play this one more, and I look forward to doing that. So thank you guys very much for watching, and we'll talk to you later. All right, bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.